Many thanks for joining us on the news. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. And now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured international investors that his administration is taking steps to improve Nigeria's power supply despite constraints and bottlenecks which have seen multiple incidents of grid failures. He revealed that Nigeria is decentralizing the national grid through renewable-driven mini-grids, and also once signed into law, the constitutional amendment bill will allow state governments to generate and transmit their electricity. The president discussed this and many other issues in an interview with newsmen on Tuesday. President Buhari said the federal government had earmarked $550 million to provide 20,000 standalone solar systems, SHS, as well as solar hybrid mini-grids in over 250 locations. In his words, we're also decentralizing the national grid through renewable-driven mini-grids. He also added that his administration is working hard to improve the grid through the Power Initiative Agreement with Siemens. In his words, Take My Presidential Power Initiative, PPI, a government-to-government initiative between the governments of Nigeria and Germany, with Siemens AG to upgrade the electricity grid with a $2 billion investment. Once signed into law, the constitutional amendment bill recently voted through Parliament will allow state governments to generate and transmit their electricity, further facilitating investor participation in our market and enabling states and local businesses to transmit excess supply to the grid. The World Bank has said that Nigerian states will likely lose 18.8 billion naira in oil and gas revenues in 2022. As worsening revenue collection at the federation level increases budgetary pressures for the states. The Washington-based bank said this in its Nigeria Development Update report. According to the lending bank, the declining revenue from the federation level had put many states in a precarious fiscal position. The bank warned that many states would be unable to meet up with their expenditures, adding that there was an increase in debt servicing expenditures of states. The report read in part, with net oil and gas revenue stagnating, most states will not be able to achieve their intended levels of expenditures in 2022. In addition, debt servicing expenditures at the state level are also mounting due to a decline in gross statutory account revenue transfers from the Federation Account Allocation Committee, which comprises oil and non-value-added tax, non-oil revenues. End of quote. The bank further said that the expected higher VAT collection or improvements in independently generated revenues would not compensate for the lower transfers from the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee in 2022. The financial institution also warned that there would be a 2.7% decline in FAC transfers in 2022 when compared to 2021, adding that this decline would push states to borrow more and slash discretionary expenditure. The average retail price of automotive gas oil, diesel, paid by consumers increased by 181% from 238 naira 82 kobo in May 2021 to 671 naira 8 kobo in May 2022, the National Bureau of Statistics has said. Month on month, the average retail price increased from 654 naira 46 kobo in April 2022, indicating a rise of 2.54% when compared to the average retail price paid in May. The spike in the price of diesel had been partly blamed for the rising inflation in the country, occasioned by the global supply gaps from the Russia-Ukraine war. According to the NBS, the average diesel price was higher in Ekiti at 716 naira 15 kobo, followed by Osun and Oyo with 716 naira and 707 naira 33 kobo, respectively. The Automotive Gas Oil Price Watch May 2022 further showed that the lowest average retail price of diesel was recorded in Yobe with 560 naira, followed by Bauchi and Delta with 570 naira and 624 naira 44 kobo, respectively. In addition, the zone analysis showed that the average price of diesel was highest in the southwest with 705 naira 60 kobo, while the northeast had the lowest price with 639 naira. Also, the average price for refilling a 5-kilogram cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas, popularly known as cooking gas, stood at 3,921 naira 35 kobo in May 2022 from 3,800 naira 47 kobo in April, showing an increase of 3.18% month on month. However, on a year-on-year basis, the average retail price for cooking gas increased by 89.28% from 2,071 naira 69 kobo in May 2021. The highest average price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas was recorded in Gombe with 4,366 naira 67 kobo, followed by Bayelsa with 4,325 naira and Adamawa with 4,250 naira. On the other hand, Yobe recorded the lowest average price with 3,200 naira, followed by Ogun and Ondo with 30,450 naira and 30,480 naira 77 kobo, respectively. The state comparisons showed that the highest average retail price for the refilling of a 12.5 kg of gas was recorded in Abuja with 9,308 naira, followed by Ekiti with 9,209 naira 9 kobo, and Oyo with 9,184 naira 6 kobo. Fuel scarcity worsened in Lagos, the Federal Capital Territory, and other parts of the country on Tuesday, resulting in motorists spending hours at filling stations. For oil marketers, the solution to the worsening fuel queues across the country is for the federal government to approve an increase in the pump price of the commodity. Although some marketers had already raised the price of fuel in their outlets, they admitted that the move had not been approved by the government, noting that dealers could be sanctioned for selling above the regulated price. Heavy fuel queues were seen in a few filling stations that sold petrol at the approved rate on Tuesday. Some of them in Abuja include the NNPC close to Gwarimpa on the Zuba-Kubwa Expressway, the Total filling station opposite the headquarters of NNPC, and the NIPCO filling station on the Zuba Expressway, among others. The Deputy National President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Zarema Mustafa, told newsmen. In his words, the solution to the crisis is to increase petrol price and have it approved due to the cost of diesel used in transporting these products to retail stations. The IPMAN official explained that the widespread queues in Nigeria were related to the global energy crisis that had dragged on for about 4 months since the Ukraine-Russia war started. He added, quote, "We solely depend on imported diesel, so based on that, the scarcity of diesel has become worse, which is the major product we use in transporting fuel to filling stations." Mustafa, however, stated that marketers were engaging the federal government, adding that it had been confirmed that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited had enough stock. Global Airlines yesterday announced an upgrade to its outlook for the airline industry's 2022 fiscal financial performance, with a recent spike in aviation fuel headlining the major hurdle for recovery and profitability. The airlines, under the aegis of the International Air Transport Association IATA, said that the industry losses were expected to reduce to $9.7 billion, being an improvement from the October 2021 forecast of $11.6 billion loss. Overall expenses are expected to rise to $796 billion. That is a 44% increase in 2021, which reflects both the cost of supporting large operations and the cost of inflation in some key items like fuel, which is the major headache for local airlines in Nigeria. IATA estimated that at $192 billion, fuel is the industry's largest cost item in 2022, 24% of overall cost, up from 19% in 2021. This is based on an expected average price for Brent crude of $101.2 per barrel and $125.05 for jet kerosene. Airlines are expected to consume 321 billion liters of fuel in 2022, compared with the 359 billion liters consumed in 2019. IATA's Director General Willie Walsh noted that airlines were resilient, people are flying in even greater numbers, and cargo is performing well against the backdrop of growing economic uncertainty. Losses will be cut to $9.7 billion this year, and profitability is on the horizon for 2023. It is a time for optimism, even if there are still challenges on costs, particularly fuel, and some lingering restrictions in a few key markets, he said. Walsh added that the reduction in losses was the result of hard work to keep costs under control as the industry ramps up.